What's going on is Anton from antondaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. I thought that this was interesting and I wanted to share it with you guys. And that JJ Redick, right? Obviously, we know that he had a podcast with LeBron James, right? And so that podcast, now that he's been named the Lakers head coach, which was turned down by another candidate, but the podcast is basically shutting down. It was a pretty awesome podcast from a fan's perspective. This article in particular goes on to say that he was named as the head coach on Monday. Him and LeBron James are shelving a podcast after the Los Angeles Lakers announced him on Monday as being the head coach. Former player, obviously 40 years old, at an introductory press conference on Monday that he and James, a 39-year-old Lakers star, which is very interesting, right? It's very interesting to think that a 40-year-old is coaching a 39-year-old, but I'm looking at this more as a partnership instead of it actually being a coaching role. And obviously, LeBron James, they call him a coach / GM and all of that stuff, but that's irrelevant. But the Mind the Game podcast is now shutting down. That's not what I really want to hit on and what I want to talk about. I want to talk about this right here, right? Because it's now going viral and it's all so convenient at this particular time that somebody comes out and accuses JJ Redick of calling a black woman the N-word to her face. And black Twitter is running with it. Now, before I start to read the article, let me just say this. I absolutely despise people that come out 20 years later with an accusation and we supposed to take their word. We just supposed to take their word for it. I told y'all that I don't believe in a court of public opinion when it comes to messing up somebody's bag or messing up somebody's money. But every single time that somebody becomes successful, it doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian, whatever. Every single time somebody makes a milestone moment in their life, it's always somebody that comes out from the past that want to say, oh, they did this to me. Or they did. Okay, so why didn't you address it or say something or deal with it at the time that it happened? Why is it so convenient? As soon as somebody signs a big contract and get the bag, why is it so convenient? Now, JJ Redick, I mean, for all intents and purposes, I don't know him personally. I don't know anything about him, but he's pretty much had his nose clean the entire time. I mean, the dude was an ESPN analyst and started a podcast with LeBron James, had a long, illustrious career inside of the NBA. But now all of a sudden, if you want to take a guy down, all you got to do is get a woman to make an accusation, and that's going to be the end of it. But let's deep dive into it. Life comes at you fast. Less than a week after JJ Redick was hired as the new head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, a black woman, an unidentified black woman, just out of the blue, on social media accused the former NBA sharpshooter of calling her an N-word while he was in college. So you telling me he wasn't even an NBA player? You saying that you knew him in college, and then all of a sudden he called you the N-word. On Tuesday, her name is Halima Nash. Halima Nash wrote on X, I've only been called the N-word to my face by a white man once in my life, and it was on the campus of Duke University while I was doing work with the basketball team. And today, he was named the new head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. What a world. So just out of the blue, Halima Nash, and let's just say, for example, that it did happen. Let's explore all possibilities. Let's say that JJ Redick called you an N-word to your face while you was working with the basketball team and said, and he used the hard ER at the end of it, right? So why didn't you have it addressed at that particular time? Why didn't you bring visibility to it? Why didn't you say, because I don't see anything in this Twitter space, because we know that black Twitter is supposed to be a thing. I don't see anybody that's saying, oh, okay, well, look, there's a documented evidence that this happened. I reported it or whatever, so on and so forth. But so you just took it like you just took the L. And of course, you're going to have people that come to her defense, and this is her. And, you know, obviously I just read her tweet. And so it's going to be liked 200,000 times with 10,000 replies. And I know that it's people that look like me that's not going to have this type of conversation and just be real. But again, I'm going to be consistent across the board. And I do not, by default, believe anything that a woman says just because she says it. You're going to have to come with the proof, because anybody can say anything about anybody, especially when you're famous. And you get a big, you know what I'm saying, a big contract. Nash posted this tweet just minutes after Redick was officially introduced as the Lakers head coach and just finished his first press conference as a member of the team. Black and NBA Twitters had various reactions to the post, with some claiming that she was lying, others claiming that she was telling the truth, and a few adding that behavior like this from Reddit is not shocking. Now, all of a sudden, he racist. Everybody that's white is racist. This man, for example, Justin Tanner, says, I don't know any of you. I don't know JJ Redick either, but I know this woman personally, and she has unimpeachable character and integrity, and I 100% believe her. Simping at his finest. Simping at his finest. So you telling me that just because she said something that we supposed to throw this man away? And again, I don't align myself with people based off of the color of their skin. I align myself based off of the content of the character. And so because he is basically have a spotless background, is no reason, because if we just want to go based off of integrity and character, we don't know this woman, but we've seen JJ Redick live his life visibly as a public figure for a long time, and he hasn't had literally zero accusations or any kind of problems as a problematic star. Goes on to say some other replies. Lorenzo Ferari. I've had many encounters with JJ Redick back in college. I could totally see a situation in which he used the N-word. Come on, stop, family. I don't think that it's that much of a story 20 years later, but if he tries to pull the I've never said that word in my life card, I will call shenanigans. Convicted in the court of public opinion. Sam Simolian says, I refuse to believe this. JJ would never say anything like that, and LeBron would never allow himself to play under a coach who used racial slurs. JJ would never say this. And then obviously his words got tied up, and so they're trying to tie back things where he said something. Well, stop, bro. Just stop. Stop it. John says JJ Redick won an ACC Player of the Year twice and won National Player of the Year as a senior at Duke, and had a decade-plus long NBA career, and nothing was said about JJ Redick calling this person an N-word until he parlayed podcasting into a Lakers job. All right, man. And this is exactly what I align with. I align with what John is saying out here in these streets. If I'm JJ Redick, I'm not even addressing this. Like, I'm not even going to speak to it. I'm just going to completely ignore it. I think that more celebrities and more people in general just need to ignore rumors. Just ignore it. Act like it's not even a thing. Block it out. Completely remove yourself from Twitter once you become in certain positions, so you don't even have to deal with this nonsense in the first place. Another article right here from the Huffington Post says he claimed that he responds. Apparently, he responded to it. It says that he denied a claim that he called a woman who worked with Duke basketball team the N-word. He said it never happened. That's it. And I think that he addressed it accordingly. Said never happened. Just keep it out. Get it out of here, bro. Get on up out of here. We don't want to deal with it. And this is the woman that said Nash, who now runs a company that fosters job opportunities for Generation Z talent of color, which in my opinion is racist in itself. Elaborated on her viral post several hours later. Says, for context, this was years ago. I'm a believer that we all have space to grow, especially from our college level maturity. We live in a world where these exchanges happen at the intersection of race and privilege, and lack of accountability all collided with that presser. Okay, so why is it so important for you to bring it out 20 years later? I'm just not rolling with it. I don't believe it, but I'm curious as to what you guys think. Do you believe that this woman right here, Halima Nash, do you believe that Halima Nash is telling the truth about JJ Redick actually calling her the N-word, or is this an opportunity to get visibility for herself? Or could two things be true at the same time? I'm curious as to what y'all think. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, make sure you tune into the premiere tonight. It's going to be dope, of the Anton Daniels show. It is the second episode, so I'm looking forward to continuing to release that content for you guys. And the Millionaire Morning Show. All right? I love you guys. I appreciate you. Let me know in the comments. We're going to kick it later. Deuces.